They were just kids when they took lives. Now they're facing life behind bars, teenage killers, some weeping, some smirking. This is what it looks like when reality hits. This is 4 teenage killers reacting to life sentences. This is 17-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla. She was convicted of double murder, not for using a gun or a knife, but for using her car as a weapon.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Shirilla's boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, Davian Flanagan, were in the car when she crashed into the side of a commercial building outside of Cleveland.
Prosecutors say this wasn't a crash. It was a calculated execution. She accelerated to 100 miles per hour, slammed her car into a building, and killed both her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, Davian Flanagan.
She tried to break into his house?
Correct.
Reportedly, she crashed her car on purpose because she wanted to kill her boyfriend, and that his friend was just collateral damage. The prosecutor.
You see her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
Investigators say she drove the route days before to plan it. At trial, her calm driving just before the fatal turn showed intent.
For the judge
in Ohio, purposely killing another with prior calculation and design qualifies as aggravated murder, even if the weapon is a vehicle. Shirilla was charged under this standard.
Count 1. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo.
She now stands.
Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Davian Flanagan.
Shirilla before her sentencing.
The families of Dom and Davia, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. She's sentenced on count 1, 15 years to life. Count 2, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
The judge just.
Ohio's minimum for murder is 15 years to life, but parole eligibility does not mean guaranteed release. Next is Aiden Fucci, just 14 when he killed his classmate. He stabbed 13-year-old Tristan Bailey 114 times.
Cop car. Yep.
Fucci.
Under Florida law, minors charged with first-degree murder are tried as adults. Though ineligible for the death penalty, life imprisonment is still on the table, with parole review after 25 years due to his age. And while her family mourned, Fucci joked in the back of a cop car, posting on Snapchat, "Hey guys, anyone seen Tristan?"
The Snapchat that you did was not very smart.
Like you're all over the internet everywhere. This is serious.
This is very serious.
This is no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
A video from prosecutors showed Fucci and the girl allegedly walking together right before she was murdered. Then about 90 minutes later, the video shows Fucci allegedly running away from the area where the body was found.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
After Fucci
later pleaded guilty.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
After Fucci was sentenced,
he showed no emotion when the sentence was read. These two, Willard Miller and Jeremy Goodale, were 16 when they murdered their Spanish teacher, Nohema Graber. Why, allegedly, over a bad grade.
Then moved her off of the trail, where I then struck her, and she died as a result.
They stalked her during her routine walk in the park, attacked her with a baseball bat, and hid her body under a tarp.
General plan. I'll stand up here, look out, wait for Miss Graber to show up.
Graber went for her.
She comes, and she walked by, hit her in the back of the head, and then I said, we should make sure she's dead. So we hit her a couple more times.
They then dragged her in.
After that, there wasn't really a plan beyond that. Like, hide the body, bury the body, stage the body. At that time, we were going to hide the body. I guess in our arrogance, we kind of assumed that nobody would ever find her.
Not long after, both boys were arrested.
Premeditated murder, even by teens, qualifies as first-degree murder in Iowa. Though ineligible for life without parole, judges can still impose a minimum of 25 to 35 years before parole eligibility. They later bragged about it on Snapchat. "You're my Spanish teacher, and this is the last thing you see."
Followed by time to hide a body.
Goodale took a plea deal and testified against Miller.
Understood that he had the intent to kill Mrs. Graber.
What is your plea to murder in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
This is
I'm to think on what to say, and I'm sorry. Truly sorry. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way.
Defendants shall be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
now for Miller.
I would like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of Naheem Graber. To the family, I'm sincerely sorry for the distress that I've caused you and the devastation. And I ask that I'm given a chance, and I don't want to be institutionalized. I don't want to be in so long that I forget about what matters, where I come from, and I look forward to getting through this.
And now
Willard Noble Chayton Miller should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 30.
Miller, found equally culpable, got life with parole possible after 35 years. Finally, Rachel Schoaf and Shelia Eddy, both 16 at the time, lured their friend Skylar Neese into the woods.
Years old.
Their scheme was to hide knives on their bodies and to attack Skylar at an agreed-upon moment.
In Star City, West Virginia, Schoaf and Eddy were friends with 16-year-old Skylar Neese. Reportedly, Schoaf and Eddy decided
they simply didn't like her anymore.
Eddy and Rachel Schoaf carried out that plan. Together they stabbed and killed Skylar.
After
Rachel confessed months later, both girls were arrested and charged with murder. Rachel cooperated with prosecutors.
Sorry. I don't know if there's a proper way to make this apology because there are not even words to describe the guilt and remorse that I feel each day for what I've done. I hurt the Neese family and those who love Skylar. I hurt my parents and shamed my family. May God bring eternal peace to Skylar and the entire Neese family.
After
pleaded guilty to second-degree murder.
It is a sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for a period of 30 years.
But she will have the possibility.
Pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 years, eligible for parole after 10.
It is a sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. That sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.
They were teens with their whole lives ahead of them. Now, they face decades or lifetimes in prison. Some cried, some sat stone cold, but every one of them took a life.